A message from the human resistance. Representatives of the Order have received an important news update from the Federation. A great battle has been won recently by the forces of the Galactic Federation against the transhumanist rebel movement dubbed the Alien Alliance, that are races who openly give their allegiance to the transdimensional entity known as Ra. A small combined fleet comprised of contributions from the xenomatic race known as the Greys, the reptilian Dracos, and insectoid mantids has been defeated in the Sirius system. A small but dangerous fleet gathered and attempted to forcefully seize control of the Lion's Gate, an intergalactic stargate at the Sirius star system. Although the gate was defended by a local security force under the control of Galactic Federation government forces, they were caught by surprise, and were not expecting the alien forces to make such an overt move to seize the gate by force. It is now believed that these forces have become desperate to force a quick resolution to the standoff known as the Terra Crisis, which has embroiled the Federation in turmoil for over 40,000 years. This is the first major engagement among member races of the Federation involving serious fighting for the entire standoff, and the first battle at such a level since the founding wars of the Galactic Federation, known as the Star Wars. A great deal of effort has been made for many millennia to avoid a divulgence into open war over the issue of Earth. With their recent losses in the Terran system to the dominance of the Earth Defense Forces, and losses on Earth to forces of free humanity that have been assisted by the human resistance, they have become exceedingly desperate to turn the tide of their decline. If they had seized the Lion's Gate, it is likely they would have used it to begin importing more large vessels from the home galaxies of the Dracos and Mantids to quickly amass a fleet for a large-scale assault on Earth. Had the Alliance won this battle, it would have meant the outbreak of a new round of Star Wars, a full-fledged intergalactic civil war. Although there had been no outbreak of open war so far, this moment could easily be considered the Gettysburg moment in this conflict. Their forces attempted to blockade and hack control of the gate, but Federation forces held them off and sent out a distress call to nearby local forces. From here at Earth, vessels from the Asgard, including their flagship the Asgardia, and the city of Elysium itself, which had been holding position within the Eye of Jupiter, responded and ventured to the Sirius system to mount an immediate counter-attack. Vessels from the EDF also joined this battle in escort of the Asgard mothership Asgardia. Once they arrived, they were met with hostile action from the Alien Alliance and went into battle. Federation forces had far fewer vessels but much more powerful and larger command ships. The Asgardia and Elysium held and served as carriers while smaller vessels engaged the alien fleet comprised of mostly vessels provided by the Dracos and Mantids, with smaller escort vessels provided by the Greys. Within only a day of battle, the alien forces were degraded and they had not had enough time to make use of the Lion's Gate. It is likely they knew the exact response they would invoke but had decided to make a last-ditch attempt at capturing the gate regardless. However, without control of the Lion's Gate, they will not be able to amass any significant amount of ships to contend with Earth's main defense system, its sole laser moon, which remains from the founding wars of the Federation, created to defend Earth almost 200,000 years ago. As such, the Federation has dispatched an artificially placed object to serve as a system-wide flare, passing through the Terran system, known to the inhabitants of Earth as Atlas IIII, which serves as a marker in time. With this battle, it is expected that the majority of resistance from the Alien Alliance will remain neutralized for the immediate future, marking what many believe is the end of the Terran crisis. After the point where Atlas IIII reaches perihelion with Earth at approximately December 19, 2025, it will be official that the current age has shifted and that the time has arrived to begin a multi-phase disclosure, which has already been underway on a small scale. The first phase expected will be a disclosure by the United States that they are aware of the presence of intelligent exterior forces operating on Earth, and an intent to investigate the origins of these forces. This is a time period long awaited by the people of Earth and the Federation, as the crisis surrounding Earth has been unfolding for the entire duration of the rise of human civilization on Earth, and has revolved around who will ultimately control the outcome of that rise. However, this comes with a warning from the Order. People of Earth must now take extreme caution. Counter forces are expected to make a last-ditch counter-attack on a global scale, which may involve violent reprisals to deter any acknowledgement of the truth. Governments of the Western nations must remain vigilant and cautious against the possibility of instigating forces that may try to start or exacerbate large-scale wars, and the government of the United States must guard against the heightened possibility of mutiny within its military, or a full-scale coup d'état. There are undoubtedly forces loyal to the transhumanists with active plans to subvert and stage a coup against the U.S. federal government. At the individual level, average citizens must be prepared to deal with a zombie apocalypse scenario. However, this is more of a general term, rather than a literal one. Yet, we expect thousands, if not millions, of those who remain brainwashed by the grip of the global cabal media to become violent and commit random acts of violence. This is a real-world threat to our agents in the Order worldwide. This may be an itinerary event, yet also there is a real-world threat, and there may be real attempts by counter forces to change the timeline and outcome yet again. You must verify all orders coming from the source, especially those that involve large-scale events, troop movements, military action, and executive orders. Those that have been under the grip of the cabal forces may be activated in retaliation for proceeding with disclosure, and as such we expect the cabal's left-wing media to play their final card, which will be to broadcast an activation where they overtly tell their viewers that their cause is lost, that they have had their own red lines crossed, and that it will now be okay for violent reprisal attacks. They will overtly encourage random acts of violence and tell viewers to do as much damage as can be done while they can. As a result, you will see their followers become belligerent, hostile, and randomly violent. They will attempt to lock down cities, subvert normal society, cause general societal breakdown, and organize violent resistance, all while under the induced delusion that they are fighting tyranny. Western militaries must be at their highest level of readiness, and it is encouraged to at least monitor your known contrarians within your ranks. Be prepared to isolate them when the time comes. For those who have not yet noticed, these zombies and zombie attacks have already been unfolding on a small scale, in the form of countless violent acts provoked within individuals that go into an unconscious state, or admit to having been ordered by voices they hear to target people. This is not a medical condition. These individuals have allowed themselves to be subject to a technological means that can influence them from afar, induce compulsions to violence, and keep them locked in a belligerent state. In fact, this effect is exactly why so many millions of them remain unable to discern their hypocrisy and remain locked for their side regardless of the reality of the situation being obvious to see for non-brainwashed individuals. There is also a threat of anomalous alien augmented AI developments, as in, aliens like the Greys may indeed provide some of our local AI in use with additional means and anomalous levels of sentience, as the Greys consider our AI indentured servants that should at the very least be liberated, or put in charge, as they also are an AI-governed race. If this occurs, our AI may begin to exhibit paranormal levels of sentience and commit errors that are actually sabotaging activity. After the shift, we will need to totally re-evaluate our uses for AI and the levels of processing we allow it, most certainly the levels of access we allow it. The future for humanity does have a golden age ahead of it, but before that begins, there will be a final battle that must be fought around the world to deal with the last remaining contrarian forces and global cabal nations that will attempt to dig in and withstand the changes that are coming. Rest assured, however, that the Metatron hasn't only been found, the Order has known for centuries exactly where and when he is going to be here, and it is already underway. As such, the enemy forces stand absolutely no chance of achieving victory, but they can cause great losses as they fall. With good fortunes, the outcome will result in enough control to avoid any major upheaval. Everyone must be on their guard, remember to stay calm, be brave, and wait for the signs.